Beautiful Canada Place in Vancouver, British Columbia, on board Holland America's Eurodam, and I wanted to talk to you about an Alaska cruise. Over the years, I've taken several cruises to Alaska. We live in Seattle, which is an easy trip to Alaska, and sometimes they have really good last-minute deals to go up there. So we've been up there at least more than 6 or 7 times. I'm not sure the exact count, but it's a great trip. And one thing that drives me crazy is watching YouTube videos and seeing people that have taken one Alaska cruise and they create a video all about taking an Alaska cruise. So they don't always have the right information in here. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do to make sure that you get the best Alaska cruise that you can. So for a lot of people, taking a cruise is going to the Bahamas, sitting on the pool deck and hanging out. But on an Alaska cruise, you're going to have a completely different experience, because an Alaska cruise is really about the ports and being outdoors. It's not about the ship. So my advice for you is do a lot of research on booking an Alaska cruise. Start with the destinations, start with the itineraries, look at the shore excursions, and look at the land packages. Put it all together and then figure out which cruise line to go on, and then from there determine the price. Do you need an interior cabin like we have right now, or do you need an exterior cabin where you've got a balcony? So it's all good stuff to research. So let's go around the ship and we'll talk about taking an Alaska cruise. Let's start with the itineraries. So come with me. So there's 4 basic itineraries for Alaska. The first one is the Inside Passage. And what the Inside Passage is you leave from Vancouver or Seattle and you go between Vancouver Island and the mainland. The second itinerary for Alaska is around Vancouver Island. So you leave from Vancouver or Seattle and you go around the island in the Pacific Ocean up to Alaska. So there's northbound. And what northbound means is that you go from Seattle or Vancouver up to Anchorage. There's southbound, and what southbound means is you're going from Anchorage down to Seattle or Vancouver. When you're talking about land packages, about what you want to do in Alaska and the Yukon, you want to do a detailed study about what do you want to see while you're there, because there's a lot of things to see. Do you want to go from Anchorage to Fairbanks? Do you want to go from Anchorage to the Yukon, right? There's all kinds of things to do in Alaska. So be sure to do your research. Another thing that you want to research before you book your cruise is shore excursions. So if you've always wanted to go ride the train in Skagway, make sure that the cruise you're going on goes to Skagway. If you've always wanted to see the Russian church in Sitka, make sure your ship is going to Sitka. So do your research on your ports of call before you book your cruise to find out that's exactly where you want to go. So make sure that the cruise is what you want and not what the cruise ship wants you to have. The last thing to think about when you're booking your cruise to Alaska is the fare. So that should be the last thing to look at. So first you want to look at your itinerary. Where do you want to go? Then you need to look at your ports. What ports do you want to see? Then you need to look at your shore excursions and figure out what you want to do. Put it all together and figure out which cruise is right for you. So those are my recommendations about taking an Alaska cruise. What I recommend you do is do your research, find out what itinerary you want to do, what ports you want to do, what shore excursions you want to do, and if you want to add a land package, if you want to do that as well. So what I recommend that you do is call your travel agent and take your itinerary and what you want to do and let them know so they can find what cruise you want to go with. So I hope you find that those tips were helpful, and if you have your own tips, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. So I want everybody to have a great time when you book your Alaska cruise. Alaska is a great destination, and I'm looking forward to taking you there next year.